right, I am fired up tonight here on Sportswire Radio because we are starting the night off here early. I'm giving you two for the price of one, and I promise you it's going to be worth it here because our guest is a man that has been well-traveled, well-accomplished, and he has done a lot, and especially from the 605, where he's repping that, and he's going to talk a lot about the 605. He's going to talk a lot about what he's done in SBW, but ladies and gentlemen, if you saw last weekend where you thought maybe a curtain call was going to come down on Summer Madness, not so fast. I'm going to talk to our guest about a number of different things, and especially one thing that hits home for him because there was a guy that said he was the backbone of the backyard that was holding an LBYW championship but didn't bring it back to the 605. I'll talk about that. I'll also talk about this guy, Bane X, and maybe about those Reapers I'm going to talk about because, after all, they came to the 605. Well, they came and, they went elsewhere. We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about our guest's journey, and maybe I'll even have to bring up some familiar faces that were a topic this past week on Sportswire Radio. That might be a headline or two, but we'll most certainly get into this man's long, decorated journey here in the backyard. He has definitely been one of those guys. When I think about the 605, maybe it's really him that's the backbone of the backyard. I'll get into that here because I know that was a topic on his Instagram's page and story, and I'll most certainly get into that. Plus, I've even got a surprise for him. No, Kurt Adams isn't coming on here. No, the Reapers aren't coming on here, but I do have something I'll give him. But I see our chat has arrived, and I'm going to give our guest that introduction in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform that he and SBW most certainly helped build. And in the famous words of Def Leppard frontman Joe Elliott, let's get rocked, baby, and let's start this show off here in style on Sportswire Radio, the number one global radio station where all music and wrestling matters. So with that, without further ado, here on the Sports Report, number one cable sports show. A man that proudly reps the 605. He's the reigning, defending SBW Union and heavyweight champion of the world. His name is simply put the one and only the champ is here, my friend. How are we doing?
You know, after that intro, I am 10 times more ecstatic to be here than I was to begin with. But I will say this. I appreciate the intro. I appreciate it 1,000 times %. But I feel like, and this is no diss to you, Reverend. This is no diss. I feel like I can make it 10 times better. 10 times better, 10 times simpler even, all right? Just hear me out. Hold your horses, people, all right? Ladies and gentlemen, my name is the one and only Riley Bates, the Fallen Star Riley Bates, the Pepsi drinking Riley Bates, the fourth wall breaking Riley Bates, your SBW Union and World Champion, the best alive in the 605 Riley Bates. There, simple.
I do like it, but I will tell you that I gave the same intro to Rhino and Savio Vega and a guy who played in the first Woodstock, Mark Farner of Grand Funk Railroad, and they were like, keep doing the intro. So and Doug Pinnick, frontman and bassist of King's X, compared my voice to James Hetfield of Metallica, and he just opened for Tool in February. So the only reason I if those names liked my intro, everyone's getting it, but yours is pretty good. You've definitely done a good thing here, and you definitely have repped the 605. But I'll leave intros there at that. I get a chance to do this every day. You get a chance to do this, not as often, so your voice can, be accustomed to things in the 605. But I'm gonna go start off here with last weekend, especially because you have, I am sure, quite an opinion on it, because for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform that you and SBW most certainly helped build, Sportswire Radio. Your thoughts, Riley Bates, on this guy that's supposed to be the backbone of the backyard that left empty-handed over in North Dakota with that LBYW Interstate Championship, Mr. Kurt Adams?
Reverend, I was really, really hoping you didn't bring up his name. God honest, hoping that you didn't bring up that man's name. Because I'll tell you what, I watched Summer Madness, all right? I watched it front to end to front, upside down and inside out, all right? I watched it. And as I was watching Kurt Adams versus Napalm, so many thoughts were running through my head. A, why am I not on this show? B, why is Kurt Adams fighting Napalm? It should definitely be Riley Bates fighting Kurt Adams for that interstate championship. Yep. 3, why in God's name did Kurt Adams lose? There was so many opportunities, Tom, that Kurt Adams could have beat Napalm. Could have beat Napalm. See, Kurt Adams beat Napalm not once, but twice for the said title. So There was no excuse whatsoever that Kurt Adams couldn't have beat Napalm a third time. And I will say this. I like the Reapers. I know it's a shocker, right?
I know, especially as they spoke about coming to the 605 here on this platform at the beginning of the year. They spoke about that. They spoke about that trip, and they've been on your TV. That's a fascinating statement you just made.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know it's fascinating. It's fascinating, and it's not really that much of a shocker because we both have many things in common. We hate Kurt Adams and we hate Bane X. Pretty simple. I'll say this. If I was there in LBYW, right? If I was there in LBYW, the first person I go after is Kurt Adams. Pretty plain and simple, because I know I could whoop his ass 10 times out of 10. And if say Bane X, all right, say Bane X came to LBYW, same thing. I'd whoop his ass 10 times out of 10. There's nothing that Kurt Adams or Bane X have over Riley Bates. All right. Maybe I take that back. Maybe a couple wins here or there. All right. But Reverend, look what's beside me. I've got the Union Championship. I've got the World Championship, the SPW Undisputed Champions right here. You don't see Kurt Adams with the world title or the Union title. You don't see Bane X anywhere with the world title or Union title. You're looking at the World and Union champ right here, Tom. And if LBYW wanted Riley Bates to be in LBYW, they would know how to make a deal. And that deal would be having Riley Bates go up against Kurt Adams or Bane X if he decided to show his face ever again. And I'd beat him. Plain as day. Plain as day.
And that's really some things I want to talk about, because Kurt Adams was a big topic a few times recently on the platform. First of all, it was a topic with the Alpha, which is kind of how we got formally introduced to one another, even though obviously I've known who you are for quite a bit. You've been around, you've traveled to different places, but that was how we formally got introduced on here. But really the comments from the Wilster, the face of America, the man that has been the United States champion for more than a year. And he's had plenty to say about Kurt Adams. And he seems more inclined than even you are to face him. As a matter of fact, he wants to end his career. He wants to end his career in the backyard. He was adamant about that. He talked about Kurt Adams and hated everything he stands for, all these different things. So as crazy as this sounds, you might be a double champion, but the Wilster wants Kurt Adams first. You might have to wait. What's your thoughts on what the Wilster had to say and how he wants him maybe more than even you, Riley Bates?
Listen, I'm astounded that the Wilster thinks that he could beat Kurt Adams. Not that I don't doubt that he could. I obviously 100% believe that he can.
Okay.
But if he thinks for 100% certain that him being the U.S. champ for almost a year has anything to do with anything, Wilster, I want you to hear me loud and clear. I've held the Union title and I've held the world title for almost 2 years. 2 years. If there's any consideration to do with accomplishments, I'm the guy first up, pal. Hands down. And if Wilster wants to end Kurt Adams' career, by all means, go ahead. I'll say good riddance to Kurt Adams if Wilster ends his career, all right? I will say good riddance. I will say sayonara. I will say adios amigo. There's nothing that would make me 10 times happier than having Kurt Adams gone from the backyard realm. Because I don't know if you know this, Tom, but for almost a decade now, we're 3 years short of a decade.
Yep, 7
3
years.
or 2 years, yes. Almost for a decade now, me and Kurt Adams have been going at it. We don't like each other, never have, never will. And I'm fine with that. I'm 100% fine with that. But if he thinks that he's going to walk around up north in North Dakota claiming to be the best wrestler alive, well, Riley Bates been putting to work for almost a decade now, being nothing more than Kurt Adams' shadow, being nothing more than the second best in South Dakota. Well, that ticks me off. It pisses me off even because I've worked my ass off for almost a decade, Tom. Almost a decade to be the pound for pound single best wrestler alive. That all means technician, on the mic, best entrance, best gear, everything hands down goes to Riley Bates. And if Kurt Adams considers himself the best wrestler alive in the 605, it's nothing more than false. It's not true.
Let me ask you that. Well, you know what? Those are points. Obviously, we're going to dive into, and I'm going to dive into something else here because we've seen Kurt Adams on LBYW TV for a while, on and off here, for the better part of close to a year. And let me ask you this question. Let's say hypothetically, I know LBYW management is here. They have a question they're going to pose to you, and I'll read that off here in a minute, and I'll get to everybody as well. But let's say you were the guy instead of Kurt Adams that went up to LBYW. How do you think things would have been different? Let's just say for the 605, for let's just say events that have happened in LBYW this past season, things with the Reapers. So it sounds like from what you're telling me is that Kurt Adams is inferior to you. So if you would have went up to LBYW, what would have been different?
What would have been different, Tom, is that I would have came back home to the 605 with LBYW Gold. What would have happened, Tom, is that me and the Reapers, I'm sure we would get along just fine because the Reapers hate people up north. And I can tell you this just by giving a skim through that show that I had seen, Summer Madness. I can't stand half of the fucking roster that was there. Pardon my language. I can't stand half of them. And what would have happened? Well, probably me and the Reapers would have gotten along. They would have kept their separate ways. I would have kept my separate ways. And we would have held, respectively, we would have held gold. I would have came back to SBW, the whatever it may be.
Well, I mean, how about this? They lost the tag team championships. That was something that was taken actually possession of here. You know, Psychotic Freak was here right before Summer Madness, and he had somehow broken in to the homes of the Reapers and took both championships with Showtime. And then at Summer Madness 4, they kept and won full possession of control of those championships. So at the very least, right, would you have teamed with one of the Reapers to had maybe brought the tag team championships to the 605? Would that have been a possibility where the Reapers lost those championships here a few weeks ago?
You know what, Tom? It could be a possibility. It could be a possibility. The possibilities are endless, says the Watcher in the multiverse. All right, the possibilities are endless. But if I went to LBYW and wanted those tag titles, I could have had a broomstick for a partner, and I'd still win those titles. Because I don't know if you know this, but these people don't call me the one, the only for no reason. It's pretty plain and simple. I do what I do on this screen that no one else can, whether that be talk, whether that be wrestle, or whether that just be giving my own thoughts and opinions. No one
you
can
definitely have given them here so far. I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
I've had a lot of different people on, and you're definitely very opinionated, and that's always a good thing. But I think what I'm getting at really is that you should have been the one that came up to LBYW, and Kurt Adams, he wasn't that person. He shouldn't have went down there, and maybe you feel disrespected by management, because I kind of get that sense you are so far.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, I'm disrespected. I claim myself to be the best wrestler alive in the 605, and I sit at my desk, I sit in my room, I'm scrolling on YouTube, and I click on this channel LBYW, and I'm like, all right, I might as well give these people a shot, right? I click on it, watch this video, and there I see the God, oh, it irks me. There I see Kurt Adams on that trampoline in that ring, and I hear those words come out of his mouth that he's the real best alive in the 605. And the moment I heard that, my heart sunk. The moment I heard that, I damn near shit myself. The moment I heard that, I thought to myself, worlds are going to collide the next time I see Kurt Adams. Because I'll tell you what, I was so close to punching a hole through my monitor because I was so pissed off that Kurt Adams ripped off my catchphrase, that Kurt Adams decided he wants to claim himself to be the real best alive in the 605. And Kurt, if you're watching this, and I hope you fucking are, if you are watching this, Kurt, who won over you and I the last time we faced off in the middle of that ring? Who won? Don't answer that. It's a rhetorical question. I beat you. I made you pass out. You couldn't grab those ropes. I made you pass out in the middle of that ring with an SD lock, and you lost. Not only did you lose against me, you lost to having this or this around your shoulder. So you decided to tuck your tail between your legs and go up north to LBYW because you couldn't get the job done back home. And when you went to LBYW, Kurt, you decided to yourself, you know what? I'm going to make an enemy out of guys that came to my house, whooped my ass, and left. So I'm going to go back and not learning your own fucking lesson, going back up there to face Napalm, and you beat him. Congratulations, you beat him. I didn't think you could do it, but you beat him, and you had the Interstate Championship. And then when the moment came for you to defend the title, not once, not twice, twice, defend it twice, you couldn't get the job done then. So you cannot call yourself the best alive in a 605. I can.
Well, I mean, obviously, those are a lot of things that I'm sure are going to be responses that I have. First, let me get to management. I usually wait to let the comments come in, but I see that management has wanted to say something about what you just said, the one and only Riley Bates. And here it is. If Riley Bates is interested in coming to LBYW, we have a few shows here coming up left before our season is done. We have War 3. We have Haunted Hellfest 5. And we can talk, and maybe we can make a deal. And what is your thoughts? Obviously, you've gotten the attention of management. You've come out swinging here. I mean, you have come out. Let me tell you something. I do this a lot. I have had on a lot of people from a lot of different backgrounds, and you have definitely been one of the most swinging guys out there I've seen recently on my platform. So you got LBYW's attention here. And what's your thoughts on this? If you want to make a deal, they seem to be open to it. And what's your response?
Listen, if they want to make a deal with the one, the only, I'm down to make a deal with with LBYW, because there's many other people in this community who wants to make deals with everybody else. And at the end of the day, they don't show up or they can't make that deal happen. And Riley Bates is not one stranger to making deals with companies that, have some pretty interesting talent. And if I'm going to be completely honest with you, Tom,
Sure.
the only people that I am truly interested in LBYW is that man Kurt Adams, that man Napalm, that man Wilster, and the Alpha CJ. Those 4 are the only people that I'm 100% interested in. The other people, like, what's his name? Psychotic Freak. Showtime. Just Ice, Ragnarok. I'm forgetting all the others in the list of the fucking clown card.
El Sombre. Can't forget about El Sombre.
Yes, El Sombre. If they...
How about Scary Terry? You definitely can't forget about Scary Terry.
Oh, Christ. Scary Terry seeing me, he'd probably run the other way, all right? Listen, if they want to bring all those guys, all right, all those other names, they're side quests, if anything. They're a list of accomplishments that they can mark off. Yeah, they can mark off that they faced Riley Bates on their bucket list of opponents in the backyard, all right? They can do that. Because to me, they're just side quests. The main goal, the main prize here, Tom, is those 4, Napalm, Kurt Adams, Wilster, and the Alpha. Those are the only 4 that I really, truly have my eyes set on in LBYW.
Well, it sounds like it's really 3 of the 4 because Kurt Adams doesn't work for LBYW, and the Reapers do work for LBYW. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to go right to the comments because I see the Wilster here, and he wants to respond directly to you. And I'm going to put him up here right now, and he says that Riley is the number 1 guy in the 605 and could be one of the ones in the 701. And he also wants to say the face of America acknowledges Riley Bates. He says yes and exclamation points. And also, that's right, you are above those jabronis, and some of them he knows all too well. And also, again, another guy who knows that Kurt Adams is trash too. I think that I like this Riley Bates guy, and I have somebody else that wants to say something, but I'll let the Wilster have it first. He is the face of America for over a year. And what would you like to say to some of those comments there from the Wilster?
You know what? I am absolutely glad that Wilster is in this chat, is watching this, because I acknowledge the face of America. All right, I acknowledge the Wilster. I think him holding that title is no disrespect to him, nothing compared to holding 2 championships for over 2 years. All right, no disrespect to that, but him holding that championship for a year, defending it successfully over a year, is not a hefty task. Is not an easy task. Excuse me, not an easy task.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that me and him are on the same page that Kurt Adams is trash, because I mean he is. Look at it. He's lightweight. He's light work, easy work. It's easy to beat Kurt Adams. Anyone can do it.
So maybe, how about this? When Kurt Adams took the title from Napalm several weeks ago in LBYW, after he got a shot here at the title, was it a fluke? Do you think it was a fluke that Kurt Adams had beat Napalm? Because in a way, that's what the Wilster was saying here on Sportswire. He was here a couple weeks ago, right before Summer Madness, and he kind of felt it was a fluke almost with Kurt Adams. And do you feel it was a fluke that Kurt Adams had won the interstate title from Napalm a few weeks ago?
Well, you see, I'm going to bring up some history here, Tom, if you will allow me.
You got it. Got the floor.
So in SBW, Napalm and the Reapers came down, invaded SBW. We all know the story there.
Yep.
Where was one match in particular on an episode of Shakedown where Napalm faced off against Kurt Adams.
Yep.
And I'm going to say that it was just because Kurt Adams was on his home field, had home court advantage. He was on turf instead of real grass, if you get my analogy, if you get where I'm swinging the fence here.
Yeah.
Kurt Adams beat Napalm in SBW in his home turf. When Kurt Adams went to LBYW to face Napalm, it was a fluke. Napalm wasn't expecting it. Napalm didn't think that Kurt Adams, who is used to wrestling on the ground, wrestling on wood, wasn't used to a trampoline. He didn't think about it, and honestly, I didn't think about it either. So, of course, yes, it was a fluke that Kurt Adams beat Napalm the first match that they had. And the second one, when they had that ladder match, you can say that, oh, Kurt Adams was ready, Kurt Adams was prepared. Kurt Adams never had a ladder match in his life. Never, ever had a ladder match in his life. In my honest, brutal opinion, I think Kurt Adams was a little intimidated by that ladder. Was a little intimidated by the thought, oh shit, Napalm, big guy, ladder, not so big on me. Kurt Adams wasn't prepared to face Napalm in LBYW. So when that ladder match came, he had to quicken up his shit real quick. He had to get calmed down, get soothed down, relax the nerves, chill himself out. And when the moment came for him to face off against Napalm in that ladder match, he didn't beat him, Reverend. He survived him. Simple. Because if Napalm would have gotten a spear or would have gotten a Oklahoma City bomb one more time to Kurt Adams, that would have been it. I guarantee it. That would have been it. So Kurt Adams didn't beat Napalm the second time. He merely survived him.
Well, you know what? Obviously, Napalm is back as the interstate champion. And if you want to watch some of LBYW's content, and especially the most recent Summer Madness event, you can do that by hitting the sub button for LBYW, because I see a lot of different people here that I haven't seen in a while. So you must be doing something right. But, I'll get to the Wilster statement. But there's somebody, though, Mr. Bates. You may be the one and only Riley Bates. But there's a guy on here that I've never seen here on Sportswire that would like to tell you a couple of things directly. And I'd like to bring you up here on the big screen so I can show you these comments. And first of all, he wants to tell you.
Shit.
I want to get, I get some comments from him, so let's go with it here first. Tough talk for a fella with a surgically repaired ACL. And then he goes on further that wants to say, can't keep my name out of your mouth. Wipe your chin up on the way back up, Bates, with the initial KA. And that guy looks like this guy you've talked about pretty much for the better part of the last 20 minutes here, named Kurt Adams, the backbone of the backyard, the SBW YouTube champion.
It is, quite literally. Yes, it is him, Kurt Adams. And listen, yeah, I don't know what you want me to say, Kurt. I don't know what you want me to say. I'm telling the truth. Quite literally, I am telling the God's honest truth. You passed out to me. You lost to Napalm. You couldn't keep an LBYW championship long enough for SBW to at least see it. It only has to be uploaded by the match, the official match length from the show to our channel. That's the only way that these people are going to be able to see you holding other company gold. So I quite honestly have no idea what you want me to tell you. And tough talk for a guy who had a surgically ACL, my man. I don't know what you want me to do. I'm back better than ever with the repaired ACL. You felt it. You felt it, Kurt. I don't know why you're making fun of it. You felt it. You're the one who got passed out due to it. So I honestly have no idea why you think this is going to intimidate me, or you think this is going to scare me. It's not. 100% it is not going to do that. If anything, Kurt, it just proves my point. It proves my point that you are just nothing more than attention-seeking whore. All right? That's all you are. You're so fed up with the fact that everyone needs to know who the real best alive in the 605 is. And you all want them to think it's you. You all want them to think it's you, but it's not. Because I'll say it once and I'll say it again for over the better part of a decade, almost a decade, that I have been nothing more than your shadow. I have been nothing more than your shadow, and I have proven time and time again why I am not. I am my own category here. You said it yourself, Reverend. I'm bringing in people. You have no fucking clue who they are. I'm the guy doing it. You don't see other guys going around bringing in new people to every other show. You don't see Kurt Adams coming on Sportswire saying that
would you like to see Kurt Adams on Sportswire one day? Because I've heard through the grapevine that people have asked me about Kurt Adams coming on to Sportswire. They've asked me, and guys and gals have said, well, you've had everybody on. You've had only this guy Rhino, this guy Savio Vega have been on here, Pitbull, Gary Wolf. And, what about Kurt Adams one day? You definitely can talk. You definitely are showing why you're the one and only Riley Bates. But maybe Kurt Adams one day, maybe he would like to come on and share his side of the story. I know the Wilster would be paying attention to that. I know you would be paying attention to that. And I think maybe some other people would, or do you think maybe he shouldn't come on? I mean, what do you think about that?
No, I
No?
honestly don't think he shouldn't come on just for your sake, because I don't want you to hear him like a broken record repeat the same damn dumb shtick that he said for over the last 10 years straight to you. Just complete utter trash and fire
But I think other
bullshit.
people might want to hear what he has to
Listen,
say. Maybe,
if
you know.
if other people want to listen to what this liar has to say, by all means go
I mean, the
ahead.
Wilster is even saying that the Wilster wants him on because he says that Kurt Adams doesn't have the balls to come on Sportswire one day. I don't know about
Exactly.
that. You
Exactly.
I think he would come on one day. I think he
No,
would.
no, no. Honestly, Tom, I love you and I adore you for the 30 minutes that we've just been chit chatting here. All right, I love it and adore it, but I honestly, truly, thoroughly believe that if Kurt Adams came on here, your channel would just deplete. All right, your channel.
No,
Would,
I think that
yeah,
this
honestly.
now I'm going to cut you off. I like you. You're definitely, you're an interesting guy. You got quite a story, but I'm past that point. But I will tell you what, we will see what happens. But I will also get to some more comments because I got another one here coming up that I want to bring up from the Wilster, and kind of an interesting one. I actually had it right here, and I can't find it. But oh, there we go. He has Napalm greatest interstate champion of all time, but that's not the one I'm looking for. It was one about the numbers 4. It was you being the 4th man. But there we go. That's the one. Not sure if the Alpha agrees, but I think Riley could very well be Reaper number 4. Now, you've talked a lot about seeing eye to eye with the Reapers. You've talked a lot about what you think is worthwhile in LBYW. And would you want to be in the Reapers? Would you want to be their 4th man? I mean, everybody always famously talked about who was, 4th man in NWO and so on and so on. Is that something you want? Are you a group guy? Because that's what the Wilster's asking.
Listen, if LBYW, if LBYW wants me to be in the Reapers, they'll pitch a deal. If the backyard world wants me to be in the Reapers, if the God above wants me to be in the Reapers, it'll make it happen. All right. I'm not saying that I don't want to be.
But you guys all got. But what I see though potentially, you definitely are the one and only Riley Bates. I got that.
Yes.
You're definitely very successful. I give you all the credit. You've traveled to different places. Much respect to you on that, but that's a lot of ego there in the Reapers. You got Napalm, the interstate champion. You got the Alpha, who's the champion of LBYW, and you've got the Wilster, the face of America. Can all 4 of you coexist? I mean, is that something you could potentially see with your egos, all the success that the 4 of you have had? Could you guys coexist potentially in LBYW as a group?
Tom, I don't like your wording there. I don't like ego. All right, I don't like it. I don't.
You guys though got all gold, right? You guys all have done different things. I mean, it happens all the time. Listen, we've seen it in Evolution, seen it in the NWO, seen it in D-Generation X, seen it in the Bloodline. I mean, every faction deals with this.
Yeah, no, I completely understand, but I just don't like the wording. I don't think it's ego. All right, I don't think it's ego. I say.
I mean, you're the one and only, though. I mean, usually a guy who's one and only, you don't seem to be in a group with others. I mean, I've seen guys like you come on my platform from the underground and the backyard over the years. There's one guy that talks a little bit like you, not as controversial, was just in a group at another place in the Midwest and left the group. And they said they basically evicted him out of that group because of, things that he did. And I see somebody else that's here in the chat, one of the first comments, and he's kind of like you, definitely got a personality and, maybe not the group guy. And, it's a common thing. You've been very successful, and guys like you either don't play well with others or don't need others.
Yeah, no. I completely understand where you're going with here. But I just wouldn't say ego. I wouldn't say ego. I would say attitude, because it takes the right attitude, Tom, to be in a group such as the North Dakota Reapers. It takes the right attitude to be a loner, to be a lone wolf, like myself. I wouldn't consider myself to be a lone wolf. I consider myself to be a guy making his way through this yard, doing whatever he has to do to make himself a star.
It's a dog-eat-dog world in the backyard.
Yes,
I agree with you.
Quite literally. Yeah.
I agree with that. No, I totally agree with that. And by the way, I just want to put a super chat up because one of my esteemed supporters is Mr. Chase Wakefield. In fact, he's so impressed with you. Check out the Chase Wakefield Wedding Invitational, and maybe you could show up to that. It's in Pennsylvania. Who knows? It's coming up, and maybe a guy like you, the one and only Riley Bates. I mean, Chase Wakefield, and he's been in a lot of different places, VTW, DBW, and he's been watching the show and just wanted to chime in. And I want to plug his Instagram page and his YouTube page, but he's so impressed that who knows, maybe he would like to meet you at the very least. Maybe one day, I don't know, but he's so impressed with you that he wanted to say a little bit about maybe sending you an invite or just checking out the Chase Wakefield Wedding Invitational. Yeah, never say never, as the one and only James Taylor would say. So who knows?
Yeah. No, if Chase Wakefield would want me to be in his wedding invitational, by all means, I'll see if I can do something. I might bring a gift. Who knows? I might bring a gift by having myself
well,
be
you
there.
know what? At least you know what. Look at it this way: you got an invite, possibly, or we have a link to plug. And last week, a man I'm pretty sure you've shared a locker room with before, Justin Parsley, got uninvited to the Chase Wakefield Wedding Invitational.
Oh.
Yeah. So there you go. So you just you never know what can happen. So one door closes, another one opens. So congratulations on that. And yeah, we'll plug Chase's YouTube page in. But you got a lot of comments. I want to get to one in particular.
Oh, boy.
You said that Kurt Adams, he shouldn't come on here. And, the Wilster said he wouldn't have, pretty much the gumption to do it. But it seems to me like he says here we might have to line something up. And I'll tell you what, I'm sure I could find a day, maybe next weekend if Mr. Adams would like to come on and share his side of the story. And, I would be interested. I think there are people here that would want to hear what he has, whether you agree with it or not. And we give everybody a chance. And he does say that he's got things he might need to get off his chest. So I guess maybe the double daring and the triple daring seems to be working because, well, he may want to come on.
Listen, again, I'll say it once and I'll say it again. If Kurt Adams comes on, the only things he has to get off his chest are the chop marks that I keep leaving on him every time I beat his ass. So, I mean, if that is quite honestly what Kurt Adams wants to do, if he wants to come on this radio show, if he wants to get whatever he has off his chest, I just don't think he'll do it. Honestly, I just don't think he'll do it because Kurt Adams is not man enough to do so.
No, he just said right here that we might have to line something up. So it sounds like he's interested. I mean, he'd like to message me. He can do that. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. We're on YouTube here. Hit the sub button for us if you're here for the first time. And I'm going to put your SBW page up back in a minute. I want people to hit the sub button for you. But listen, I mean, who knows? Who knows what the future brings? One day at a time, right?
Yeah, like if I know it don't make sense. Me saying he won't come on. The words are right here saying that he will. Kurt Adams a keyboard warrior. It's plain and simple. Read between the lines, people. Kurt Adams a keyboard warrior. He can't back up shit in LBYW. Can't back up shit in SBW. Can't do anything around the yard anymore because if he goes any places, he gets his ass beat by somebody who is arrogant 10 times more than I am. All right? It
sounds to me like you're saying that Kurt Adams is inferior to you and that Kurt Adams will be inferior to you on this platform in terms of what you've communicated. So really, Kurt Adams should find maybe something else to do, like maybe singing on stage or maybe finding a song to play with his band or, doing something like that rather than coming here and maybe addressing what you've said or also the likes of the Wilster have said here on this platform. And that's really why he should just find something else to do.
Yeah, like, honestly, man, go get your own soapbox in the middle of downtown and preach to whatever you want about whatever followers you have, Kurt Adams. Go tell them about the birds and the bees or something like that. Go tell them why you're the backbone of the backyard. Just don't come on to my interview here that I'm having with the Reverend.
Well, this is your time. No, I agree with you on that.
Yeah,
this is your time tonight. That I fully agree with you on. This is your time.
Don't come on here and try and expect to get a rise out of me when I know deep down in my heart of hearts, and you know, Kurt Adams, deep down in your heart of hearts, who the better man between us is, and it's most definitely not you.
Well, I tell you what, there is a lot of comments here. I tell you what, you're definitely getting some what you wanted here. You wanted to talk about LBYW. You wanted to talk about some other things. You definitely got that here. And the Wilster also wants to add that I take that back. There isn't a certain number for the Reapers. We're all equal. So he's saying, hey, he takes it back after what he's heard from you, and I guess that's he heard the message loud and clear.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. You got that. And I also have some people opposing you here in the chat. Let me get to the one and only one half of those LBYW Tag Team Champions, Mr. Psychotic Freak. Riley, this would be the worst decision you could ever make. Don't do it. That's what he's saying, the Psychotic Freak.
I don't know who the hell you are, so I ain't going to listen to anything you have to say.
Okay, well, that's what he's telling us. And also, if you were to join the Reapers, that would bury your career. Look at where the Reapers are at. They are nothing. I mean, they did lose those tag team championships. They don't have all the gold anymore in LBYW. You did say that you could win the tag team championships with almost anybody as a partner. I mean, that is something that you did say. And you would love to bring gold to the 605 back because Kurt Adams was in the 701 and he left empty-handed. He left without that LBYW Interstate Championship, you know?
Yeah. Listen, if he thinks that if I were to somehow, some way join the Reapers, that it would bury my career, it wouldn't. I'm unbeatable. Listen, true story here. I was born 1 pound, 14 ounces. I should have never made it out of my mother's womb, but I am. I have like 9 lives like a cat. If this were to bury my career, by all means, I'd come back swinging better than ever. I already had a career-threatening injury among many people who claim they have career-threatening injuries. Yep. I've had one. Count a heart out. I have 8 lives. No. Yeah, count a heart out. I have 8 lives left. If you want to count me almost passing away at birth, count another. I have 7. I can come back more and more and more and be stronger, better than ever. Still being the one, the only Riley Bates, running my mouth the only way I know how, carrying these 2 beauties over my shoulder. I'll do this all damn day if I have to. Nothing will bury Riley Bates.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to certainly find out, but let me plug SBW here before I get to more comments. I'd like to do that here because SBW has a YouTube page, and you know, Riley Bates, I actually just gave SBW 4 subscribers on YouTube. You got 4 more subscribers here, so you'll get a bunch more because now I have the link up here for SBW. And if you're here for the first time watching SBW's Riley Bates, the one and only Riley Bates, do me a favor. Go hit the sub button for them. They're inching ever so closely to those numbers, to those magic milestones. Everybody wants to get to a magic number. They're almost at 400. Then it'll be 500, 600, so on and so on. And Lord knows how difficult it is to get those subscribers. LBYW's at 1,700 plus. I'm almost at 1,600. So let's get SBW some more subs. So do me a favor, if you're here right now, go hit the sub button for SBW because there's a chance you probably heard about SBW a little bit here with LBYW. This is the first time we're really talking about SBW more in depth on Sportswire. Chase Wakefield says he does super chats so he can be number 1. Is that a thing in the chat? I mean, do you get like points for being number 1 in the chats? I mean, because I'm on every night, so I don't really get a chance to like comment on other streams because I'm here literally every day. But is that a thing? Do you get anything like being number 1 in a chat on YouTube? Is it like a thing?
I believe so. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, well, that's interesting enough. But like I said, Psychotic Freak says Kurt Adams can and will bury you. He will bury
You've been living under a rock, my friend. Just keep wandering about your day. All right, just keep going.
Okay, well, that's something else that we'll have to find out. And of course, we can coexist. Riley's skills are unparalleled. There you go. Another comment there. What else we got? Hello. Yep, hello to the Psychotic Freak. And also, the Wilster would like to say that even though we're a family station, I'm gonna let it slide. I let the few of the profanity words slide. But he loves Latinos too, brother. He loves Latinas. So there you go, caps locks. I could see it. Yes. Most of us do like Jennifer Lopez. I will agree with that. I did actually quote her in a movie, Money Train, not too long ago. But Kurt would take the low-hanging fruit. Kurt is a goof, and I'm going to beat the hell out of him at Haunted Hellfest 5, going to holla at Riley to get some pointers. Would you give the Wilster some pointers when it came to Kurt Adams? Would you give him that insights?
Oh, hands down, 100%. I know Kurt Adams like the back of my hand, and Kurt Adams knows me like the back of his. Kurt Adams has never faced Wilster one-on-one. Never faced Wilster one-on-one. So, of course, I'm going to give Wilster some Kurt Adams advice. Pretty simple and pretty easy as well to beat Kurt Adams. So, if Wilster, you want some advice, just hit me up, my guy. You know where to find me. I believe I'm following you. I believe you're following me. So, hit me up. I'll give you some advice. I won't pay you a dime. I'll give it to you for free. So, yeah.
Actually, you know what? And if in case for whatever reason the Wilster or anybody else isn't following you, you are also on Instagram, and you can give Riley Bates a follow on Instagram. You can do that right here on his Instagram page with the Instagram handle I have provided here right now, because almost everybody here is on Instagram. And let's get his followers up, because he's got 107. So let's get him to 108, 109, 110, and that'll be the way it should be. Let's support those who are here with us. And I do have something for you. I'll give you in a little while, but we have a bunch of comments. Also, by the way, Riley Bates versus CJ, that match was fire. 100. This is Dalton Skull, and you did address your knee. We know Dalton was on here a couple weeks ago, and yes, you have certainly had some matches in other places, and it was quite a match, and you basically told us about your knee, but if you want to go into it, go ahead.
So what happened was CJ, that dastardly son of a
I know who he is very well. He's been on here. I know him well.
Yeah. He went and hit me with a move, and I basically tore my ACL during that match. And unlike a certain someone who also has leg issues that I heard just recently, I wrestled on my torn ACL until I found a great moment to go get surgery. And when I did, I came back better than ever. So yeah. I'll be honest with you, Tom. If there's anyone out there who doubts what I can do in that squared circle, watch what I can do. I put some of the very best, granted I might not have won, I put some of the very best wrestlers in the yard up to the test, and they barely got away with it with their lives. All right? And if anyone doubts that, if anyone disagrees, come at me, bro. Come on.
Well, you know what? That's why you're here. Listen, I mean, you're here, and there's no question that you've done a lot in the yard. You are the SBW Undisputed Champion, and you've definitely traveled to some places. And also, Chase Wakefield does say you get points. He gives you points. There you go. And he also says, I'm at 175 right now, which clears anyone else. So he's got points. You get points. Okay, points. You get points, and he gets points.
Yeah.
There you go. You get points. I don't know what you can do with them. Also, last time I watched you, I fell asleep. That's toward you.
You're watching the wrong person, buddy. You gotta be watching the wrong. You're probably watching Kurt Adams. You just don't see it. All right, you don't see it. You just click on SBW and you think, oh, Riley Bates.
But you didn't think much of him breaking into the Wilster or the Alphas home and taking their tag team championships away, or Napalms, I should say, rather. You didn't think much of that.
No, I think that's kind of selfish and kind of stupid, in my opinion.
I mean, there are laws that they certainly could have broken.
Like that's I'm not from North Dakota, but I'm pretty sure breaking and entering is probably illegal.
To be fair, I did say that on Sportswire because I actually took law in college and I'm a notary in real life, and I did say that we don't condone those actions here that the psychotic freak I did. So to be fair, I would have to agree on that. But now he holds full possession of those championships with Showtime. So, that's obviously something he'll get at. Let me get to some more comments. Also, Brett Anderson wants to say hello. I know Brett very well. Brett's been on my platform. He's now in BYCW, and he calls you the Bates boy. There you go.
Yep.
Right here.
I don't know what that means, but
sure. I don't know who you are, but I'll say thank you for commenting. Nothing more. Also, I want to say hello to my buddy Eddie Pizzo on Twitch. I'm on Twitch. I got monetized on Twitch. I don't know what that means, but thank you, everybody, for out there on Twitch. I get a couple people here and there. Zilla would like to say, first comment. Zilla would like to say hello to you, but Chase was here first, and then my buddy Ox McCoy, who's recovering from a shoulder injury. He's the IMF Hardcore Champion. Hope he's doing well. He is here, and he'll be here tonight at 10 o'clock when a guy, Jason Storm, comes on here. Probably heard of that name. Jason Storm is the ROEW champion. He was once upon a time in a company you entered the doors of, and he'll be here to talk about his own situation. He was just last night in the IMF. He was in the All Out Warfare match, and we'll talk about that at 10 o'clock. And hello, and well, obviously you don't think that Kurt Adams has had much success. You pretty much talked about the entire evening here tonight that you really don't think much of Kurt Adams. You don't think he's the backbone of the backyard. You think that he's not the person that should be representing the 605, and that really you're the guy and he's inferior, and that's pretty much what you've said throughout the evening.
Yeah, I really don't have to say much, Tom. You nailed it. You put the nail in the coffin with that one. So, like, yeah.
I mean, I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to bring his comment up because he obviously knows you, and I know this was going to come up eventually. You and I obviously spoke about, you do have some history here with him, but Aaron Blaze called you Pepsi Boy. That's all he wanted to say. Yeah.
Oh, Blaze, my guy. You know, I'm going to go on a rant, and I don't mean to, but I have to.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to go on a rant.
Go for it.
See, last time, Blaze, that you were on this here show, I made a little appearance. I made a little comment that some furries or some snowballs didn't really much appreciate. And I believe the comment went something on the lines of, Blaze, what a poser. And how I think that you and your little leg injury is so ridiculous, so stupid. You, Blaze, you, the guy who claims that he's going and making headlines, hashtag making more moments, going everywhere and anywhere that they will allow Blaze $100,000 of a plane ticket to go to, or Blaze going to the most popular brands such as VTW and DBW. I bet they're just absolutely loving you now, aren't they? You and your leg injury. Well, I'll tell you what, since you want to be known as a headline, I'm going to make a headline right here. Blaze ain't jack squat compared to Riley Bates. You know what? There was one time, Blaze, one time where I had thought that maybe, just maybe, the kid like you, Aaron Blaze, could possibly be something in this yard. Granted, you've done so many things. Granted, you've done so many accomplishments in this yard. I still think you ain't shit. And I will go down on my deathbed believing that you ain't nothing compared to me, because you haven't done the one thing that I've said to you over and over and over and over again. God, I'm sounding like a broken record. Over again, because you are too. There was one opportunity, one moment, and you blew it, where you could have been there and you could have beaten me. But instead, you decided to not show up. You decided to be a quitter. You decided to be a fraud. And that is how I view you, Blaze. You are nothing more than a fraud. You can beat me on this mic if you want. And I know that you can. You can beat Riley Bates on the mic 10 times out of 10. But when it comes to entering that ring, when it comes to entering that squared circle, when it comes to you and I stepping in those ropes, Riley Bates beats you 10 times out of 10. And I'm sick and tired of all these little kids, all these little 5-year-olds going, oh my God, it's Aaron Blaze. I'm tired of them because they're nothing more. This is nothing more than child's play. This is nothing more than kid games, Blaze, to me. I want to beat you in the middle of the ring, and every time that I've stated that I want you in the middle of the ring, you duck me. You leave me unanswered. You go and move on to other things that I like to call side quests. You go and do other things, but you won't face the real pound-for-pound challenge against you. You beat Kurt Adams. Congratulations, pal. Anybody could have done it. I did it 10 times better than you could have ever done it. Twice. And you want to go around to Ever Promotions and claiming that you're a headline. Here's the real true headline, Blaze. Riley Bates is better than Aaron Blaze. I should be in VTW. I should be in DBW. Those were the two places that I grew up watching wrestling until they changed themselves to fit the narrative, to fit the mold of whatever the hell they wanted to have. Again, I'm sorry for ranting here, Tom.
No. Listen, you're no. Listen, you wanted to say what's on your mind, and you're entitled to that. Listen, I mean, obviously you got history, and look, I mean, that's the way you feel, and I think that you have that right to say what's on your mind. And I think anybody would love to see you wrestle anybody, whether it's, certainly Kurt Adams, you spoke a lot about tonight. But yeah, I mean, listen, I would love to see you and Aaron Blaze. I would love to see you wrestle anybody that you want. Yeah, DBW, and VTW are companies that have been coming on my platform for a long time. So yeah, I mean, I would love to see those things. I mean, Mr. Wakefield works in those promotions, and maybe Mr. Wakefield can obviously, talk to you about more of it. And maybe who knows, you got him listening. I'm sure there'll be a lot of other people. But yeah, I agree with you. Listen, I want to see everybody wrestle, and, may the best person win. But, things get in the way, and, it is what it is. Listen, Jason Storm's coming on here tonight at 10 o'clock. If you've been watching ROEW, and, I'm sure he may say some of the same things that you may say about his situation. I'm not saying I agree or disagree, but, these are things that are going on. Comatose and Aaron Blaze seem to have some issues. I'm not taking a side for or against, but that's, what happened. So no, listen, I hear you loud and clear. I hear you. I think a lot of people hear you, and as fans, we like to see you wrestle, some of the other people that come on here. I'm all for it.
Yeah, no, like, and it just irritates me, Tom. It irritates me so much because Aaron Blaze goes around this community, and everyone thinks he's top shelf. Everyone thinks that he's the grandest prize of them all. You put your golden ticket, you give it to the factory worker, and everyone thinks that you're coming out with $100,000. Everyone views Blaze as $100,000 when he's actually nothing but a buck. A buck in the factory we all know as backyard wrestling. That is all Aaron Blaze is. I'll give you a better analogy. He's nothing more than a spoke in a wheel, and that wheel keeps on turning. And the one guy who wants to replace him, the one guy who in fact should replace him, because Blaze ain't nothing in this whole entire community, is Riley Bates. Blaze ain't nothing compared to me. Ain't nothing.
Yeah.
Yes, ain't nothing compared to me. And if he has something to say with it, if he has something to say about it, by all means, man, you know where I live. I know where you live. If I went to the Chase Wakefield Invitational, I'd stop by YBW. I'd stop by just to punch you in your pretty little perfect teeth. All right, I'd stop by in Pennsylvania to go visit another bird team, not the Seattle Seahawks, but go visit the visit the Philadelphia Eagles. Yes, go visit them and tell them how better Riley Bates is ever than Aaron Blaze. Go all these other different promotions, go across the country, go hell even to space and back, and tell them that Riley Bates is better than Aaron Blaze, because point proven. And the last time I'll say it, that way we can get on to more stuff.
Because I got some more comments from management and LBYW, which would like to sign you and actually like to have you appear in their company. But go ahead.
The last thing I'll say is, Blaze, if you think I'm sorry about you hurting your leg or getting injured, you are gladly mistaken. I prayed for this moment, and it happened. The fact that you are now out of action gives me the opportunity to come in and steal your place. Congratulations, you have just been taken over by the one, the only Riley Bates.
Well, we'll certainly see what the future brings. Who knows at this point? You can, as James Taylor say never, and who knows what the future brings. But I'll tell you what, Riley Bates is definitely somebody that has a lot to say, and I'd like to see him out there wrestle in some more places. And one of those companies immediately is LBYW, and management does congratulate Freak Show for winning the tag team championship in Summer Madness. However, we do not condone. I'm glad somebody sees what I see, and does not condone entering and breaking, and they will be fined for their actions. And also, I'll find your championship and take it home. Test me, I dare. Now, this is somebody, psychotic freak, that does want to wrestle you, and he knows where to find you, and he seems very adamant about wanting to wrestle you, though.
Listen, if he does, 605's open. We barely had competition. You seen Gunshot? You think he's better?
I'm not. You know what? I will have to say that name. I'm not going to talk about it because famously one time he came. He was addressed on this platform, and I know what you said about Blaze was one thing, but there's this guy Anthony Steele and a few other people, and we're not going to other Yeah, we're not going there.
I won't go there.
Yeah,
you.
I know all too well about his history in your state. These other guys here.
if you've seen SBW, there's not a whole lot of competition here. So if you want to come to the 605, come on down. I'll gladly whoop your ass and send you back up north to North Dakota.
Well, we'll find out. But obviously, Psychotic Freak says Aaron Blaze is pretty good. But, there's somebody else before I do get. Well, I know you could talk about him all day. But, Bane X, you don't seem to also think is pretty good. You've talked about him famously not defending the YouTube championship. We know Kurt Adams got that back. And, I know we're going to certainly change subjects, but you'll probably give us the same maybe animosity. But what's your thoughts on Bane X?
Listen, I think Bane X is a dumb moron. Honestly, I think he's a dumb moron. He had the Reapers. He was with the Reapers in SBW, and it's like
didn't want them anymore. Didn't want them. Yeah,
didn't want them anymore. It's like he backtracked. You had the most successful group in all of backyard wrestling in the palm of your hands with you. Might I add, with you to help you defend a title, to help you keep a title, to help you be relevant in a company that you helped created. And at the end of the day, you lost the title because you didn't want your protection. You didn't want the Reapers with you. I think that's the most dumb, stupid idea I have ever heard in a million words of ideas. Bane X, I know that you and I have history, about as much history as me and Kurt Adams have. I know that you're a high-flying lemur of many things that you are capable underneath that belt of yours. But the one thing that you are not, my friend, is you are not world championship material nor union championship material. Because I'm going to remind everyone, the last time you and I, Bane X, have faced off in our ring, in SBW ring, it was for this championship right here. You and Kurt Adams were laying down on the mat, were laying down on the ground, and what happened is I had a briefcase to cash in my opportunity to become world champion. And when I did such thing, what happened was I beat both of you. I beat both of you in the same night for the same title in the same time. So Bane X, you ain't nothing compared to Riley Bates. And the reason why it's so short, plain and simple, is because as much as I don't like Bane X, I think he isn't as bad as Kurt Adams is.
Oh, you spent pretty much the entire evening on Kurt Adams, and you've been adamant. You were so adamant about Kurt Adams that Mr. Adams actually responded on here and said he would like to maybe address and respond to some of the things you had to say. So there's no question that Kurt Adams has got plenty of unfinished business to say on here. But Bane X, yeah, I mean, listen, he was a topic with the Reapers when they came on here. He was certainly a topic a few different times. And you guys now, the curtain call was on this past season. And now that Kurt Adams has that YouTube championship going back to him, he wants to unify that union championship that you have also, which I'm sure further would upset you.
Yeah, like if Kurt Adams wants to unify the union championship, if Kurt Adams wants to unify that belt with mine, first he has to do is beat me, which I don't think he's going to do. And secondly, I want you to imagine this, right? Close your eyes. I want you to close your eyes. And when you close your eyes, I want you to imagine these three words: World, Union, YouTube. Those three titles coming home with Riley Bates if Kurt Adams were to face me. Those three championships over my shoulders and around my waist. Those three titles being put in the spotlight where they actually deserve to be, in the main event spotlight of SBW. If Kurt Adams wants to unify his championship, his consolation prize, with my titles, my beauties, the things that I consider to be most valuable to me in this community, all he has to do is beat me, and I don't think that's ever going to happen.
Well, it will remain to be seen if it's in an LBYW ring before SBW comes back next season. That's obviously going to be a question mark. And if you are here, please hit the sub button for SBW. And you can do that here also at the link. But I do have to let you know that Aaron Blaze would like to respond to a few of your comments. And I think it's only fair to give him those opportunities because he has a few things he'd like to say. And he'd like to say, not even close to me, fam, but good luck doing half of what I do. And he would also like to point out that for the live streams, he did draw the most views. My videos, I have the King's X and LA Gun shows are, along with Rhino, are my first, second, and third highest viewing interviews. But the live shows, he has the most drawn views on the platform. But he would like to point that out, and he's right on the live end. And he also says, "Continue falling, but you're no star, my boy." And also wants to say that your connection is worse than his. Just tuned in out of boredom, and also would like to say he's busy editing an actual show with actual production that breaks the internet, which they're also back here August 31st with Magnum Carter. He'll also be here. Also, skim through your rant. Someone of my stature has traveled to enough talentless hacks. Take Oregon, for example, outspoken, out wrestled, and also would like to say nobody is on my level, even when I'm gone. And that's sad as hell. That's what he would like to say in response to some of the things you had to say on here.
Listen, Blaze, I'll say it once and I'll say it again. You may beat me on the mic. You may beat me on the mic. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. You were a year later than I had started, and I will give you that. For a kid, I could still consider you as a kid. You can beat me on the mic. I 100% will give you that. I'll give you credit where credit is due. You beat me on the mic. But when it comes to into that ring, Blaze, you cannot out-wrestle me. You cannot out-wrestle me. And it all these comments, Tom, all these comments from this guy who is out of action because of a little leg injury.
Well, he'll be back, though, I think, right at the start of fall. So it's not a permanent injury. He will return to the ring.
Well, you know what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah, I got
He's out of action. Someone's going to take his spot, and it sure as hell ain't going to be him while he's out of action because he's not Riley Bates. He can't do what I do. So if you think all those things are true, my friend, you're calling me a worthless, talentless hack. You think my promotion doesn't draw enough views? Well, you're absolutely correct because no one watches the backyard. No one watches the little soapbox ring you've got or a mattress in your basement or something like that. They don't watch that. They don't watch a tarp on the ground. They watch ring. They watch the real ring, the real guy. The real guy is Riley Bates, not Aaron Blaze. If you can't beat me, don't talk about me. That's all I'm saying, Blaze. If you can't wrestle Riley Bates, then admit to the fact that Riley Bates is better than you. That's all I got to say. Admit to the fact that Riley Bates is better than you. That's all I want to hear. And if you admit that, I'll stop talking about you. Hell,
well, I don't think he's going to do that. And just as you would, conversely do the same, and also says and can't bother wrestling. Yeah, I know the reference. I think you might say I did outperform you in the ring. He also would like to say, let's be honest, I laid you and your boys out there. That's crazy. And also, I got the reference that he did out wrestling. So I got the reference.
Listen, if you think that was out wrestling me, my guy, I was in a match with 3 other people. It's not one-on-one. It's not uno on uno. It's not mano on mano. It's not Aaron Blaze versus Riley Bates. That's all I want. That's all that these people want. And I guarantee I'm not a guy who's fan servicing for these people, but I am for my people.
But you would like to. You would convert. But you said you did want to travel, so maybe you would show up to a DBW, and maybe you would want to wrestle Aaron Blaze. So maybe that would be the way to, solve some of it. ROEW. Obviously, Aaron Blaze is a part of ROEW. So that's look, you never know. I mean, maybe some of the things you said, maybe that could be remedied. You guys wrestle. I'm not getting in the middle of it, but if you would like to travel, and maybe those companies would like to have you, or anywhere else, maybe that still could be a possibility.
Yeah, no, I would love that. I would love to get the opportunity to punch Aaron Blaze in his pretty little perfect teeth again. But if he's thinking that out wrestling me is us two in a match with 3 or 4 other people, he's glad to be mistaken. If you want to out wrestle Riley Bates, wrestle me one-on-one, little pint-sized prick.
Tell you that the YBW doors are open, so he would like to say that they're open for you.
Listen, and I'll go down there and I'll do it. I'll go over there and I'll do it. I'll visit Philadelphia Stadium. I'll visit the Chocolate Factory. I'll do everything else there. And the last thing I'll do is punch you in your pretty little perfect teeth. Maybe take home something from YBW, whether that be a world championship or a mid-card title, whatever it may be. Maybe I just got to bring Aaron Blaze's head home on a spike and put it up on my wall as a trophy. I'll do that too. But the bottom line is, Blaze, is if I'll wrestle you when, where, whenever. You got to be there. You got to show up, and you got to fill in your word. Because right now, it's me putting in all the work and you not doing anything in return. Because I'll tell you what, your fans and my fans, oh boy, they would love to see Aaron Blaze and Riley Bates. But the fact is I'm trying to make it happen while you're too scared to make it happen.
Well, we'll have to find out, certainly. And he did say YBW doors are open. So who knows, really? That we'll have to find out. I mean, listen, I'm with you. I want to see everybody go out there and compete and do the things that they love. And look, I'm here to give everybody a chance within reason. And I'm with Blood and Honor Wrestling. Life's like a garden, just dig it. So there you go. Well said. And obviously he's interested in Pretty Little Teeth. And hello to Blood and Honor Wrestling. And obviously, again, what was the line here? I think he had a comment, but also skim through your rant. I think we read that already. And, we'll have to see what the future brings. Ultimately, I mean, look, I think what I did here, regardless of the Aaron Blaze back and forth, is that LBYW is a company that management certainly heard what you had to say tonight. They have War 3 coming up. We're going to talk about that next month at some point. I know the Wilster and the Alpha, or one of them, will be here before them. I know that the Psychotic Freak will be on here before the season finale. And maybe that's a place where you can put some of your emotions tonight toward, and maybe you'll even run into Kurt Adams. I just don't travel with him. Don't travel from the 605 to the 701 there, but maybe that's where you could show up and maybe you can put some of your emotions toward, and maybe you could do some things and maybe give the Wilster some pointers on ending the career of Kurt Adams, because the Wilster was adamant about that. I'm sure that would be something you would be very, very fond of and certainly supportive of. But is there anything else that you'd want to talk about in terms of SBW? Obviously, LBYW we spoke about. Kurt Adams we spoke plenty of, and maybe one day he'll even show up on Sportswire soon to talk about some of the things you had to say. But is there anything else that you'd like to mention that we haven't got a chance to cover?
Yeah. I've definitely got something I want to get off my chest, and I've gotten a lot of things off my chest. I'll say this. Yeah, I'll say this. This is quite honestly a therapy session for me. I've just been ranting on, and I apologize.
No. Listen, you know what? I've seen plenty of worse. I mean, no, look, look, ultimately, it's something you wanted to say. Look, some people handle it differently, and it's your voice. And as long as you're not wanting to kill people or, trying to, support things, I don't want to, take you off the mic.
No, I wouldn't say that on air. I wouldn't do that to you. I wouldn't do that to you.
I appreciate that.
So the thing I want to get off my chest is I've been doing this, like I've said, for almost a decade. Yes, 7 years. Almost a decade. And the one thing I've noticed that for my 7 years of being here, there's not a whole lot of places that get a lot of recognition. Not a whole lot. The only places that I know for certain, in my opinion, that get a lot of attention is the people on the coast. And we know who we're talking about here. We're talking about the VTW, the DBW, the NUW. We're talking about those guys.
I think ROE. I mean, look, I think ROEW. We do. My platform is built off ROEW IMF, which really isn't the coast. I mean, they've certainly made a name for themselves. I understand. DBW, VTW have the name NUW. I know NUW very well, Navon McDonald. Yeah. I think, for those who are in the middle of the country, I think ROEW and IMF have certainly, BYCW Dalton's here. They have James Taylor as their champion. I think that they've, also done well. I think I wouldn't discredit those feds.
And I'm not going to discredit them. I was trying to.
You were trying to say the names with the big states. I get. No, yeah. I hear what you're saying. Like the big states,
platforms with the big numbers, with the extraordinary views, subscribers. Yes, those channels they get all the popularity, and the ones who don't. And I'm not going. And I want to put the company I work for, the group that I'm a part of. I want to put that out there, and I want, deep down, I want to say that an example is us, but it's not fair to all the other people. It's not fair to all the other
No, I know what you're
promotions.
saying. I know it's hard
Yeah.
because look, my guest last night was Jay Ryan from Australia, Wrestling Zero, a company I do some work with. And I know that everybody wants a chance, and that I do believe in. That I will take your side on. I do believe in giving everybody a chance. There's going to be some names that might be more popular than others, whether you like them or not. You have your Aaron Blazes, your Jack Deltas, Anthony Steeles, James Taylors, but I believe in everybody has a story. And, I am, 1000% in your corner on supporting companies like yours and everybody else out there. I believe everybody should get a chance. That I agree with you on.
Yeah. And it kills me when, and I'm going to say his name again. I don't know why, but I'm going to. It kills me when guys like Blaze, when they go to these popular groups like BTW and DBW, it kills me because it's another guy who has millions, not millions, thousands, maybe thousands of subscribers, millions of views, thousands of followers on his social media. It's another guy, another popular guy that they want to bring in, and I don't discredit them for it, but I think it's kind of discerning. It kills
You'd
me.
have to ask them that. Well, you'd have to ask them those questions. And he didn't go to V.
Yeah.
He was going to go to V, but you'd have to ask DBW and VTW. You have to ask them that. Admittedly, I couldn't speculate on any company who they bring in. You'd have to ask them that.
Yeah, it just kills me because, and I hate him. I hate him too. But I would love to see a guy like Kurt Adams. I would love to see a guy like Kurt Adams go to DBW.
Now that I agree with you on. Yes,
and wrestle that. I would love to see some smaller platforms get elevated in this community. That's what I work for. That's my mission.
I agree. No,
like you.
I agree. No, listen, you and I are on the same page in that, and I think that I can't speak on any Fed. I can't speak on people. I don't get involved in that. But I do try to give everybody a chance. I do that. I believe in that. I think if you look at the body of work, we've had new people come on, and we had a new company, EWA from Ohio. We had Rex Wrestling on here 2 weeks ago. LBYW has the name. They've definitely, they've been here. They haven't always had the name. They've been here. And I've had companies on that I do believe in. I had BCW Pro, and they only had 400 subscribers. Now they have almost 2,000. So IMF, I've seen IMF from when they were at hundreds to now almost 4,000 in venues. So I believe in that. I'm with.
And so what I'm trying to say here is I appreciate your platform, giving people like me, giving products like mine a voice to come on and speak, and I appreciate that, and I thank you thoroughly for that, because I hope, and I really 100% out of character, Riley, talking to you and everyone else here. I genuinely hope that everybody tunes in to what we have in store for our final season. And I say our final season when I speak on behalf of myself, Kurt Adams, Bane X, and all the other guys in our locker room. I hope to God everyone tunes in for what we have, because I genuinely believe that it is going to be one of the best seasons that we have ever put out since 2017, since our shakedown season. And I don't want to spoil anything, and I'm not going to spoil anything because it would ruin the surprise that I have.
Obviously, right? Surprise, yeah.
Yes. Surprises that we have. But again, I just want to say thank you for having me on, promoting our stuff.
And we're going to have more SBW coverage. And you know what? And,
yes.
We're going to definitely have more SBW coverage. And, I'm looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to, maybe LBYW hearing what you had to say and joining that company, because that is a company I have done work with for over 2 years. So, no, I definitely heard you. I definitely support All Wrestling Matters. I don't think there's anybody else or has any other platform that has consistently done that. And I think if you looked at my body of work, we've had Rhino down on. I've had on heavy metal bands that sold millions of albums. And the reason I have this is because of guys like you and all the wrestlers, all the companies, whether, Aaron Blaze, whether it's Jack Delta, whether it's Riley Bates, whether it's CJ it was the CJ Judd, whether it's the Wilster, whether it's now the Alpha, whether it's Jay Ryan, whether it's Omen Black, Soldier GP, Gabe Sayers. But I got something for you. You may have been dishing out plenty of shots, but it's Riley Bates Day here today, so maybe that'll take your powder off the keg a little bit. But congratulations, and I'm looking forward to giving you the physical copy when we're off the air. I will definitely give that to you, and I'm sure we'll talk plenty about what SBW has to offer. And you're definitely welcome to come back very soon. I'm sure that Mr. Adams will be getting in touch with us. I'm sure whether you agree or not, but I would definitely be curious to hear what he has to say, especially after what you said tonight, what the Wilster has had to say. But we'll give this physical copy to you. Please support SBW. Hit the sub button. I've done it 4 different times. Please join me in supporting them and the great work that they have. Their season finale took place a few months ago, and they'll have plenty to talk about here coming up. And see, I told you some friends of mine would be here. That is my buddy Austin Edwards, who's from BYCW, and a man that's defeated Dalton Skull and done a couple different things, and says he's a big fan. And we're all fans of you in the ring. I mean, I can't, say I agree with everything you had to say about Aaron Blaze or Kurt Adams, but I can say in the ring, yeah, I've seen your work for a while, and I appreciate what you do. And obviously, LBYW kind of connected us here, so I thought it would be a good time to bring you on. And yeah, Austin Edwards has been on here a few times. He's one of my guys, and he likes you, and I like you. And I can't like everything you said, but I can like your in-ring work, and I can like giving you the physical copy when we're off the air. And I want people, by the way, like Austin Edwards, by the way, who probably is hearing of you, who knows of your work, maybe not as much in SBW, to please hit the sub button for me. Go hit the sub button for SBW. Please do that. If you like Riley Bates, you've seen him in other places, you probably like his work in SBW. He does his own interviewing. He does some of his own stuff on there. He's certainly an animated guy, and he's very good inside and outside the ring. So hit the sub button for him there. So if you like what he has to say, you can see more of it here, there. Also, he's got an Instagram page, which I'd really recommend you give him a follow there. So please do that there on Instagram. You can check him out as well, because I got that right in front of me. So check him out on Instagram. Well, yeah, there you go. There's his Instagram. And please support him. And it's also, yeah, as I said, Riley Bates Day. So I'm sure we'll have more of that ahead, my friend. So let me pass the baton to you. Anything else you'd like to say? It was a good talk. You got management's attention. So one company might, consider taking you up on your services. So listen, one out of a few ain't bad. You got a good batting average. So we'll see if you continue that batting average to continue to increase it. Now, let me pass the baton to you. Anything else you want to plug, share, or say? The floor is yours.
Listen, if my batting average is like that, at least I'm better than them damn White Sox. So
I'm a Mets fan right now, and my bullpen sucks, so I can't talk much.
Well, I don't want to up a surprise. This is my last thing. Yeah. Many people have done it. Many people have said something like this. In fewer words, I might go over more than I would like to intend to, but there's a couple names that I just want to throw out there, because I know this is a big platform, so they might hear it, they might not hear it. If they don't
hear it, they'll hear it. Go ahead, they'll hear it.
If they hear it, they come find me. Zach Daniels, Navon McDonald, Dustin Reagan, D-Lock, Mr. Judgment, Ace Christian.
I had him on 3 weeks ago. Go ahead. I'm listening.
All of you, this is a warning. Not really a warning. This is just me letting you know that if you think that you are the best in your home state, in your home company, I'm here to let you know that you are totally, totally wrong. Because there's only one way for you to be the best, and that is to beat the best. To beat the best wrestler alive in the 605. So this is an open invitation, and I am calling every single one of you out. I don't care if I have to go to IMF to face you, Ace Christian. I will if I have to. I don't care if I need to go to VTW to face you, Zach, Dustin, or D-Lock. I will go there if I have to. I don't care if I have to go to DBW to face you, Mr. Judgment. I will if I have to. And Devon McDonald, not a lot of people know our history, but I will say this. I despise you through and through, and I will do anything in my power to get my hands on your grimy, slimy little fingertips. So, with that being said, that's my little bucket list for you. Anything, and hopefully I can get those names crossed off that bucket list if I can. And if any one of you are watching it, hit me up. Let's get something going.
Well, I have no doubt Mr. Wakefield will have many of those names at his wedding. I will certainly give you Mr. Wakefield's information when we're off the air, and you can probably have a chat with him afterwards about that. So you might be in luck. Today might be your lucky day. Yesterday, Jay Ryan talked about it was his lucky day to win the Wrestling Zero Championship, and those names, almost all of them I know personally. With the exception, I don't really know Devon McDonald. I think we spoke once on Facebook, but I know Mr. Judge. I know Mr. Judgment very well. I know Ace Christian very well. I know D-Lock very well. So you're in luck with that. So Mr. Wakefield will probably help you with some of that. And who knows, maybe you'll show up at their wedding. But if you are here one more time, it is certainly Riley Bates Day. And please support his company, SBW. And they are definitely, the curtain is not being called just yet on them. Hit the sub button on their YouTube channel. I would really appreciate that very much. And their content will resume soon. Go to Riley's Instagram page for more. Also, LBYW. Please support LBYW. You can do that by going to LBYW's YouTube page. LBYW has plenty of coverage here coming up. War 3. We also have Haunted Hellfest 5. That is the season finale. And that will take place in a few months. We'll be talking a lot about that. But in the meantime, please support Riley. Support all the companies that he would like to wrestle in, or he is a part of his own, most importantly. But yes, congratulations, Riley Bates Day. We thank you, Riley. Definitely a memorable show. And I look forward to doing this again with you. And thank you so much for your time. Congratulations on your success so far. And I'm looking forward to what Kurt Adams will say potentially about you coming up. And who knows what else will bring us here, especially in the world of LBYW, a company that I think will take you up on your services.
I hope so. I hope so. I can make LBYW more popular than they already are. And I'll say this. Thank you for it being finally and officially. I hope every single calendar in the world marks it as official that today is Riley Bates Day. I hope it's official, because I will be celebrating every single August 17th, whether it be drinking a Pepsi, whether it be drinking a Mike's, whatever it may be, I will do so.
If it makes you feel better, I am kind of more of a Pepsi person, at least with the fountain drinks. And I'm drinking Mountain Dew, which is made by Pepsi. So I'll give you that. So maybe we'll bring you on every August 17th. But I think I want to bring you on a lot sooner than August 17th, 2026. So we'll definitely make that happen sooner rather than later. But that is Riley Bates. He is the SBW World and Union Champion. You can see him as a part of SBW on their YouTube channel. You can also follow him on Instagram, and we'll see if you see him in places like LBYW. But my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively and literally where all music and wrestling matters. If you're here on Sportswire Radio, I'll be back here around 10 o'clock Eastern time with Jason Storm, the ROEW champion, a man that has also traveled in some places that Mr. Riley has been in. I'm sure Jason Storm will say some things, and he is certainly somebody that I am sure people will be very much anticipating to what he has to say here. But in the meantime, thank you so much, everybody here, for tuning in. Thank you to all the wrestlers, all the companies that have been on here. It was a great honor to have recently been featured on blabbermouth.net, the heavy metal version of Rolling Stone, for my interview with Symphony X bassist Mike LaPond. I want to thank the manager of the band, Mr. Alexander Ford. But we'll see everybody in a little while. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. On the number one Global Radio Tune, that is Sportswire Radio, where all music and wrestling matters. Thanks, everybody.